Hi guys, and welcome to another batch of your replays, and today we are going light tanks, and we're kicking off with a game here on Prokhorovka in the Type 64, the Tier 6 Chinese Premium Light Tank. Now if you like light tanks, I really do recommend this tank. I think it's a very good scout. I think it's very competitive, even with the introduction of all the new light tanks in 9.3. Anyway, we are with Tiger Hunter 3. It is a 47%er, so it's a pretty close game. And Tiger Hunter 3 is going to be doing what I covered quite a lot in scouting videos. He's going to be doing some passive scouting up at the bush at E1. So sometimes scout games are full of excitement, lots of active spotting, lots of movement, lots of flanking, and sometimes you can play passively and still have a huge impact on the game. And both scout games today give me something to talk about. So I'm just speeding it up until Tiger Hunter can get into position, and he's managed to get up to the bush at E1 without being spotted. He's spotting a Tiger 2, he's spotting an object 416, there's the Borsig, KV3 is spotted. And he doesn't have that much support. He does have 2 or 3 RT on his team, but the IS-6 and T-34 on his team are taking their time getting into position. It's a Tier 8 game, so he really needs these Tier 8 heavies to back up and shoot whatever he's spotting. But he's playing passively, he's not shooting his gun, and basically this is going to be a very solid scout game. So there you go, Borsig has just been taken out by a Tiger 1 from the middle. That's a very dangerous Tier 8 TD down. And in the meantime, Tiger Hunter is still sitting here, he's still doing his passive scouting. And Tiger 2 takes out the 416. Tiger 2 the enemy Tiger 2 is now taking fire. And RT's going to work. Wow, so big hit on RT on that Tiger 2. So that just leaves the KV3 up here, and the KV3 is running for it. He knows he's in trouble. He's just seen 3 Tier 8 tanks die in front of him. So lots of enemy scouts working the mid-ridge. But Tiger Hunter is not only spotting the tanks on the 1-2 line, he's also spotting the light tanks trying to work mid-ridge. So IS at a distance, KV3 is nearer. And Tiger Hunter does have shots through trees here. He could probably shoot and remain hidden and not get spotted, but he has no idea what other tanks are on the 1-2 lines. So he's choosing not to shoot, and there we go, KV3 goes down. Now, no other tanks have been spotted on the 1-2 lines. His IS-6 has moved up, the T-34 has moved up, so Tiger Hunter decides he's going to make a move forward. And there we go, AMX 5100 and a Jagdpanzer IV have been spotted. So using these bushes, Tiger Hunter is finally going to start doing some shooting. RT is now being spotted. He's looking for shots. His team are clicking the map telling him to advance, but he's being a little bit cautious here, slowly inching forward. Now with heavy tanks moving up behind him, he really does need to get some spots for them to shoot. So good. Needs to move forward a little bit more. And this is probably the one mistake Tiger Hunter makes. Basically, because the IS-6 advances, that means the IS-6 is the one getting the spots. Tiger Hunter does decide to start shooting, but the heavy tanks are the ones who are now doing their own spotting. And Tiger Hunter is going into damage dealing mode. But it's looking very comfortable. His team are winning 10-4. And a second RT has just been spotted. And a very unfortunate bounce. Unfortunately, this gun does not have the best penetration. 128mm of penetration. He does manage to bounce on the S51. So he's gone into a more active mode. AMX 5100 has been spotted, moving into a position to get shots, and there Tiger Hunter finally gets spotted for the first time in this game. But he has more than enough penetration to cause the AMX 50 some trouble. Gets kill number 2. Just one tank left. So almost a textbook passive scouting game. And yes, unfortunately, a douchebag of a T-34 decides to put a friendly shot in. And I will say douchebag because that shot was intentional. And that T-34 driver, what's his name? Wolf Striker. Wolf Striker has received bans in the past for friendly team damage. So pretty much a textbook passive scouting game on Prokhorovka by Tiger Hunter 3. He picked up the ace tanker and he picked up patrol duty. He finished top on XP with 1278, even though he only managed 408 damage and 2 kills. But the reason for that was through his spotting. Just while we're on this screen, Wolf Striker, yes, you had a fantastic game. You only managed to do 790 damage as a top tier heavy in a very, very nice matchup. That's what you get for camping at the back of the map. That's what you get for basically firing your gun 5 times in the entire game and only managing to hit 3, one of which was on a friendly target. And that is why you've been banned in the past for team damage and you will be banned in the future. But anyway, let's go back to Tiger Hunter. He had a good game, and the reason is he managed to get 6,000 assistance damage. So not much damage done by himself, but 6,000 assistance damage through spotting 8, damaging 3, and destroying 2. He earned 86,000 credits for that game. So huge credit earning potential in this tank. When you consider he only fired 10, only did 408 damage, and yet managed 86,000 credits. This is why I absolutely love the Type 64. I think it's a fantastic premium tank if you like light tanks, and it is a credit earner. He earned 1917 XP with a premium account on a ×2 and a bonus thrown in, which left him on 5,521. A really nice passive scouting game. As I say, Tiger Hunter, maybe you could have gotten a little bit more out of it towards the end. I think just towards the end of it you were a little bit more passive, especially when the enemy team were only down to 4 tanks left. But other than that, it was a perfect game. Next up, we've got Quattro 4444. I'm just going to call you Quattro. Quattro is in his Auf.Panther. He is here on Kamarin. It's a tier 8 game and it's a 50-50 game. Now, this is a tank that has a bad reputation, but I think it's actually quite a flexible scout. It can play as a scout. It may not be the best, but it can play as a scout. But the difference between this and a lot of other scouts is this can also play as a medium tank. It has the armor, can take a few hits, and it can angle. So anyway, Quattro is moving up. He's planning to get some early spots on the 1, 2, and 3 lines by moving into a very aggressive spotting position. A position I use now and again. And he's already getting the spots off. So it is a very, well, it's not a very tier 8 game. There are 5 tier 8s on either side, a bunch of tier 7s, 1 RT in play, and Quattro is getting lots and lots of spots. He spotted a T-71, he spotted a Jagdpanzer IV, T-25-2, and unfortunately, he's just gotten spotted. So he takes a hit from the T-71, plays around with moving back, but if you look at the minimap, you'll see that most of Quattro's team are sitting in the back corner. They've either rushed island or they're sitting in the bottom right-hand corner. So Quattro makes a very important decision, and that is to get the heck out of there. How often do you see scout drivers suicide scouting, trying to hold a position in a tank that can't hold it? And even though it hasn't been an exciting game so far, and it's not going to get exciting not till the end, but Quattro is deciding to relocate. He's got the speed, he can actually do it, but he is wasting his time on that flank. He is abandoning the T-28 prototype he was spotting for, but that position is not a good position. There are too many enemy tanks on the island, there are too many enemy tanks on the 1, 2, and 3 lines, and he was over there alone. So he's relocated and he's gone back to spawn. So it hasn't been a very good game so far. But I will say that Quattro made the right decision in getting the heck out of that position. Staying and standing and fighting on the 1, 2 and 3 lines is just a waste of time. You'll end up getting yourself killed, and that removes your tank and your gun from the battlefield. So he's moved back into a sniping position. He's waiting for enemy tanks to advance. And this isn't a great gun for sniping. Unfortunately, the penetration is lacking, especially at distance. The accuracy is okay, but it's not really a sniper. You can snipe with it, but unfortunately, it's the only option open to Quattro at the moment. So he's finally doing some damage. Gets 2 nice shots into the T-32. Can he get the kill shot? No, the shot goes to the right. And a T-34 moves up, shields the T-32, and someone else takes him out. So kill is denied. I don't know if that was intentional. No, the T-32 and the T-34 weren't platoon mates. So IS bounces on the side. And another bounce. So really, for a 50-50 game, it hasn't been that exciting yet. The enemy team have invested a lot of tanks on the island. And Quattro is not really being effective where he is. He's not spotting. He is doing a little bit of damage, but not much. And a bounce on the side of the IS-3. Oh, T-34 is advancing. Another bounce. You can see that the gun is not fantastic. But he does manage to nick a kill for 88 damage on a T-34. And it's going to be very, very difficult to pen the IS-3, even with shots on its lower glacis. So at this point, Quattro's probably wondering to himself just what he can do. There are a lot of heavy tanks on the island. A Leopard and Tiger 1 have decided to advance up the 1-2 lines, and the Leopard has died. Tiger 1 is very advanced. He's taking fire. Tiger 1's not going to last very long, and there goes the Tiger 1. So his team have won the 8-9 lines that they lemming trained up, and the enemy team control the middle island. So Quattro is finally sensing a opportunity here. 2 tanks advanced up the 1-2 lines, and the only opposition they encountered was a T-25-2 and a Jagdpanzer IV. So this is dangerous. He's been spotted. He's sitting in the open. There are heavy tanks on the island who will have shots, and the T-25-2 gets 1 shot in. So rather than sitting in the open, he decides to move forward, move into cover. And this is where things start to heat up. So he gets a nice shot into the T-25-2, misses a second shot. And the tanks that advanced up the other side of the map are all dead apart from the IS-3, who has just gone down. So all the tanks that Lemming trained on the 9-0 lines are now dead. 2 TDs and a medium tank defending in the corner where they've been for the entire game. He's just taken another hit from the T-25-2. It's still a very, very close game. The score is 9-9. So now whatever he decides to do in this game is going to have an even bigger impact. It's a very, very even game. This is where light tanks really, really are beneficial to your team. If you haven't suicided, if you've kept your hit points, if you've got your tank and gun still in the game, it's at the end of games when the map is more open that light tanks can really, really shine. So he's moved up, unfortunately bounces his first shot, takes another hit from the T-25-2. So now he's a one-hit kill. T-25-2 is a one-hit kill, but he's spotted him. And he spotted him and allowed his T-28 prototype friend to take him out. So the score is 11-10. But really, it may not be an exciting game so far, but because he's still alive, because he retreated, because he relocated, because he decided to stay safe, he's still in this game, and now this is where he can make an impact. 4 tanks left on the enemy team. He knows 2 heavies are on the island, he knows the Jagdpanzer IV is to his front, and he knows that there's RT. So he can spot the last remaining enemy tanks, but he does need to be careful. He only has 97 hit points. So he chooses to move forward. He's going to try and get spots for the T-28 prototype. The enemy team have pulled it back to 11-11, but he's flanked the Jagdpanzer IV. He's firing on the move. He's gotten to the rear. Just needs to be careful he doesn't get shot from the island. And there we go. He's completely circled this Jagdpanzer IV, takes him out for kill number 2. He's on 1300 damage. And he moves into cover because he knows RT is still in play. His team are congratulating him. And there's enemy RT. So he thanks the Super Pershing. He's asking what he should do now, but he knows that the 2 heavy tanks are on the island. That's where they were last spotted. That means RT is undefended. He's telling his team he's going to advance up the 1-2 lines. And any time now he's going to realize he's got a clear run. So the S-51 has a reload that's almost a minute long. So there is a good chance the S-51 is going to be reloaded by the time Quattro gets up to enemy spawn. Someone has spotted the IS. That may have been the T-28 prototype. T-28 prototype is advancing towards the island, which is a really, really dangerous thing to do, especially across open ground when RT is still in play. So really, Quattro's best move is to exploit the fact he's in a fast mobile tank. Try and get up, take RT out before the heavy tanks in the middle can respond. So there we go, he spotted RT. And he's going to work. So he has been spotted. Takes out RT. Just 2 tanks left on the enemy team. Now his team have taken a lot of damage, but they're free to work on these heavy tanks. IS-6 takes out the AMX. So it's still a close game. The score's still 13-12. Everyone is on low hit points. 2 heavy tanks in the middle. They're going to work on the T-28 prototype, but they're all on low health. And Quattro's able to move up, get into cap to put pressure on. T-28 prototype dies. It is 2 versus 2. Just a Super Pershing and 2 heavy tanks. Super Pershing is advancing. So Quattro sets up. He's switched to premium ammo. He doesn't want to lose the game at this late stage. 2v2. He's capping. Enemy team have to advance. He's using premium ammo. Going for the driver's hatch on the IS-6, but decides not to fire. Goes for a side shot in the IS instead. Unfortunately, shot goes low. He gets him spotted. Second shot bounces. Oh, it's getting tense now. He's hiding. He's capping. There's a minute left of this game. Super Pershing is preventing the enemy tanks from advancing. And the IS has decided to advance towards cap. So he's able to pop out. He's able to take a shot. Risks dying to the IS. Gets another shot in. Takes him out for kill number 4. Just the IS-6 left. And takes him out for kill number 5. And gets 70 plus cap points as well. So I really liked that replay, even though it may not have been the most exciting of games at the start. I really liked the way Quattro realized that his position at the beginning of the game wasn't great. He was getting spots, but his team weren't there to hit them. And on top of that, there was danger of him being overrun. So he retreated, he kept alive, he stayed alive, he basically went into sniping mode. Didn't achieve much, but as I say, the important thing was he kept his light tank alive. He was still alive when he was there to make it, and was there to make a difference towards the end of the game. He was able to move across, get spots on the T-25-2. Unfortunately, lost a lot of health to him, but managed to get him killed. Took out the Jagdpanzer IV, took out RT, and took out the last remaining enemy heavies when the match was still very finely balanced. And all of that happened because at the very beginning of the map, he's decided that wow, my position is not a good position, and he retreated. So it was an ace tanker. He also picked up a patrol duty, and it was a really, really nice game. He finished top on XP with 1486, did 2000 damage and 5 kills. Now at the beginning of the game, or even halfway through the game, I really, really didn't think he would get a result like this, but he pulled it out simply because he managed to stay alive. He fired 39, hit 31, but only bend 21, so basically it's not a sniper. He was sniping, he was getting some damage done, but it's definitely not a sniper. It is a versatile tank, and he was able to put his DPM to use later on in the game. As I say, a nice amount of damage. He did receive 4 hits, all 4 hits bend, so unfortunately you didn't get to see the armor on the Auf.Panther. It does bounce shots, it can be angled, but not in that particular game. He spotted 7, damaged 8, destroyed 5, did almost 2000 assistance damage, and managed 74 base cap points. He earned 16,000 credits with that game. Unfortunately, he was and did need to fire premium ammo towards the end against the enemy heavies, and I don't blame him for switching to premium for those shots, but it does mean he only made 16,000 credits with a premium account. He earned 2,229 XP with a premium account on a ×2 with a bonus thrown in, which left him on 5,572. So, as I say, may not have been the most exciting game at the start, but it shows the real value of keeping your light tanks alive. Don't suicide scout, don't charge straight down the map, don't try and hold a position when you're outnumbered. Try and stay alive, because light tanks really, really do make a difference, especially towards the end of games when a lot of tanks are dead and you've got big, wide open maps you can use to your advantage. So I want to thank Tiger Hunter 3 and Quattro4444 for those replays and giving me something to talk about today. 2 really, really nice scout games. And thank you guys at home for watching. I'll see you next time.